Tonight's DJ and TV show is sponsored in part by Electro Voice, DJ Event Planner, ADJ, NLFX Professional, Promo Only, Newmark, and DJ and TV Insiders.
Welcome to Creating Connections Podcast, episode 165. I'm Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Vickie Musni.
And today we're chatting about reviews. Specifically, not from us as the business owner hat, but us more along the lines as the consumer. Is there a difference? We'll talk about it more after the break.
That was nice and easy.
What are you talking about? This also speaks to a much bigger issue.
Providing personal solutions through understanding people. This is the Creating Connections Podcast with Gitomer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vickie Musni.
Welcome back to Creating Connections Podcast, episode 165 with Mitch Taylor.
And Vickie Musni.
And Vickie's mic is now making an appearance. If you notice, it was missing from the earlier clip. Those of you driving down the road are like, what the heck is he talking about?
Oh my goodness. Focus.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Creating Connections. Today we're talking about reviews. And is it different from being the consumer to being the business owner?
Yeah, this is the episode where we usually share a personal story, and I thought we'd kind of flip things around a little bit because we have done episodes about how do we get our clients to leave us reviews and the difference between a survey and a review. And I thought, you know what? We should talk about how we decide when we leave a review for a place of business.
There has to be a motivating factor. Motivation can come from a few different areas. Motivation can come from the fact that maybe you're a new friend of that person, or you gleaned a friendship from that interaction. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it's a close relation of yours, and so you're motivated to leave them a review because you want to see them do well. Motivation can come from a monetary factor. And is that a case where maybe you're stroking out a little bit of cash or a gift certificate or some benefit of some kind to that client, not necessarily for a good review, but for the review itself? What do you think about that, Vickie?
I agree. I think you have to look internally and figure out what your motivation is. And I know for me, yes, sometimes those things, if I feel like if I maybe become friends with a business owner through interacting with them, but I'm not one that will just go write a review because my friend opened a new business, unless I've had experience with that business.
Agreed. Agreed.
You know, what I post and what I attach to my name really seriously, and I want to do that with integrity. Yes. So if I have a friend that says, you know, hey, I'm opening up a new restaurant or whatever, I will go and experience it. And then if I feel like I have a good enough experience there that I can say something honest and leave a good review for that friend, then I will do it. If I don't have a good experience and I know the owner, I'm not very likely to post it if I already have the relationship. But honestly, Mitch, it's usually really great service or really bad service. Those are my motivations.
There has to be an extreme.
I'm personally not in the habit of reviewing every place I go. I know some people are, and I think that can be good if you've got a big following on Yelp or whatever. But for me, it's usually the really great service or the really bad service where I go, I'm going to write a review about that.
Yeah, I try to show up to hotels with my TripAdvisor 1,000 reviews.
I know. I just want the basic Yelp T-shirt to wear when I check in or when I go to a new place. Yeah.
I think was it Alan Berg that has a TripAdvisor reviewer email or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's just hilarious.
He's got like a separate email address, but he's got the hundreds, if not thousands, of reviews on Yelp. But I don't know, for me, but the other day, and this is part of made me think about this, I took my car in to get an oil change. And I love this shop that we go to. We've been there for years. Mike's my mechanic. He's my guy. In fact, he was off last week when I went, and I was like, "Oh, where's Mike?"
Is he still in the living years?
What?
Is he still in the living years?
What are you?
This is an old dated reference, folks. This is the time of the show where I give an old dated reference that Vickie just because she is younger than me. So Mike and the Mechanics was an 80s soft rock band that had a song called The Living Years. And now back to your regularly scheduled podcast.
And I'm also not a DJ, so no, some of your really obscure older music references go right over my head.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
My point was...
You said Mike and the Mechanics are just like, woo!
I don't want to leave a review for my mechanic because there are so few really great, reputable, honest mechanics.
Oh, so now you're selfish.
That I'm being very selfish about it because the other day when I called, I had to wait a full week just to schedule my oil change. I'm like, too many people are finding out about how good this shop is. And I'm feeling really selfish about it. So I think
that's not cool.
No, it's not. It's not, but I'm just being real.
So it's funny you said that. It's funny you said that. So that takes me to Caramar Beach Club. That is one of myself and my wife's, Michelle, our favorite vacation spots is Caramar Beach Club. And of course, the owner and the management at Caramar is always, please review us on TripAdvisor or write us a review on Yelp or whatever the case is, right? Mm-hmm. But yet, if you talk to the people, because there's only, 24 condos on the whole property, and they have many repeat visitors that book the same exact week every year, yep. Right? They just they book that. So if you look at that, the funny thing is that they will, the people that are there, that are staying there, will go out of their way to try to, it's almost like they want to dampen people from writing reviews because they want to make sure they get their week, right? At Caramar. So it's funny that you say that because I experienced that the last time we were there where some of the people were like, no, don't tell people about it.
I know, and I think it is funny. And then, so again, this is just full transparency about how I process when I'm going to leave a review. I think for a restaurant or something, maybe I'm not as, I can handle a few extra people waiting, but for an event business, that's the service that I don't use all the time. I mean, right. I have my go-to photographers that I'll use for family photos and senior pictures for my kids and stuff like that. But it's not like I'm going super regularly. And so I'm more inclined to review for other people I've worked with in the event industry. And I think that's maybe the lesson for us is that we need to continue to provide that really great customer experience for people. But yeah, I think when we're just being honest, there are a lot of different factors that go into whether or not we are going to review that we do business with.
For me to leave a review, I have to have exceptional experience or really bad experience. One of the two extremes. Mm-hmm. If it's the middle of the road, I'm probably not going to write a review. I have to have exceptional on both sides, one of the other sides.
Yep.
Excuse me. And sometimes it needs to be incentivized. And maybe the incentivization is just simply the ask. Think about it. Mm-hmm. How many brands do you interact with on a regular basis? I bet if you stopped and counted the brands that you interact with on a daily basis, you'd be floored at what that number. Think about the orange juice you pour in the morning, the coffee you pour in the morning, the mug I'm drinking from today, the microphone I'm speaking on right now, the camera that's in front of me right now. It's, you know,
I don't have one in front of me, but my loyalty to Diet Dr. Pepper.
Right. Yes. So all the different brands, how many of those reviews that you use on a daily basis that are part of your daily life, your daily routine, have you reviewed? Answer, probably very few.
Well, and Mitch, I think what plays into that, though, is the big company versus little company.
Yes.
I also know I am so much more likely to review, like, say, for me, you know, I work in the bar and restaurant world here in Reno. When a bar manager or a bar owner interacts with me personally, when the chef comes out and asks me how my meal was or something like that, I am so much more like, because I feel this intense personal connection now. And so that's my way of saying thank you. Yes, I can tip my server, my bartender, and, you know, I can do that. But, like, I feel like if I've really gotten a truly exceptional experience or someone has gone out of their way, that's just my way of wanting to do a public thank you.
So the key is you still had a motivation by people coming out.
Yeah, and when the more personal it is, the more likely I am to leave a review.
So if you want to get a review and you're looking at this, we talked about it from the consumer side today, Vickie and I both, on us as consumers. For me, it's motivation. There has to be some motivation, whether that is just a great experience or a really bad experience, or whether that is monetary or just, you know, want to just shout it to the world. I remember the time, I think we might have shared this on a previous podcast, where we were traveling through the Detroit airport.
We talked about that.
My daughter left her iPhone at the restaurant, and we noticed it maybe like 3 minutes after leaving the restaurant. It wasn't that long at all. And we go back, and there's the server, our young blonde waitress, walking out with Kendall's cell phone. And I tweeted immediately, corporate and the metro airport in Detroit, tagged them, hashtagged, you know, the companies as well, and praised the server by name with her picture, with my daughter, with the phone.
That's awesome.
And so that's a positive reward, because I got an extraordinary experience of honesty in a situation where that happening is slim and none, you know, sometimes. So I think there has to be some motivation. That's my take on it. And yours is personal connection, you know.
Yeah, that carries a lot of weight with me. And I think somehow that other thing we talked about with your vacation spot and my mechanic, I have to be reassured that I'm still going to continue to have good experiences.
Mike. That's our take on reviews from the consumer perspective versus the business owner perspective. As a business owner, we want them. We crave them. We really demand them sometimes. But we rely
on them.
Yeah. The reality is there has to be some motivation, a personal connection to get what you want from the consumer side. Thanks so much for watching Creating Connections Podcast, episode 165. I'm Mitch.
And I'm Vickie.
We provide personal solutions through understanding people. We'll see you next time.
Have a great week.
Thank you for listening to the Creating Connections podcast with Gittimer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor and Certified Personality Trainer Vickie Musni. For more information on providing personal solutions through understanding people better, visit creatingconnections.biz.